Welcome to the December 2019 edition of the AJP-Heart and Circulatory Physiology video table of contents, or from the editor's desk. As the year ends, we present some outstanding cardiovascular physiology from new and established investigators. Reviews and original research will provide food for thought for many readers. I'm excited to show off, so let's get started. Review by Splanonic and Lennon discusses the role of gut microbiota in salt-dependent hypertension. Because of the emerging connection between the gut microbiota and hypertension, the interaction between dietary sodium and gut microbiota has sparked interest. High sodium diets promote local and systemic tissue inflammation and impair intestinal anatomy compared with low sodium intake in both humans and animal studies. Recent rodent data demonstrate that dietary sodium disrupts gut microbiome homeostasis as gut microbiota composition shifts with dietary sodium manipulation. In this review, the authors focus on gut microbiota activity in hypertension and the influence of high dietary sodium intake with an emphasis on the immune system, bacterial metabolites, and the circadian clock. Chen et al. Review the role of tafazin in a mouse model of Barth syndrome. Barth syndrome is a mitochondrial disorder caused by tafazin mutations that lead to abnormal cardiolipin profiles. Patients are afflicted by cardiomyopathy, skeletal myopathy, neutropenia, and growth delay. A mouse model of Barth syndrome was developed a decade ago, which relies on a doxycycline-inducible short hairpin RNA to knock down expression of tavasine mRNA. Using this model, the peroxisome proliferator activated receptor pan-agonist bisafibrate has been suggested as potential therapy because it ameliorated the cardiomyopathy in the tafazin mRNA mice, while increasing mitochondrial biogenesis. Cheng and co-workers evaluate the role of shear-dependent non-Newtonian blood viscosity in the Fontan circulation. They studied three-dimensional printed Fontan models in an in vitro flow loop. A four-dimensional flow phase contrast sequence was used to acquire a time-varying three-dimensional velocity field for each experimental condition. The primary outcome, power loss, was significantly higher with the Newtonian fluid. The Newtonian fluid also demonstrated marginally higher right pulmonary artery flow, marginally lower shear stress, and a trend towards higher caval flow mixing. Outcomes were modulated by Fontan model complexity, cardiac output, and caval flow ratio. Thorsdotter et al. Tested the hypothesis that BDNF increases blood pressure in part by diminishing inhibitory hypotensive input from nucleus of the solitary tract catecholaminergic neurons projecting to the PVN. Male Sprague-Dawley rats received bilateral PVN injections of viral vectors expressing either GFP or BDNF, and bilateral NTS injections of vehicle or anti-dopamine beta-hydroxylase conjugated saccharin. BDNF overexpression in the PVN without NTS lesioning significantly increased mean arterial pressure in awake animals. The saponin treatment was also increased mean arterial pressure in the GFP group, but failed to affect mean arterial pressure in the BDNF group. In addition, hypotensive responses to PVN injections of the beta-adrenergic agonist isoprenolone were significantly attenuated by BDNF expression. In summary, increased BDNF expression in the PVN elevates blood pressure in part by downregulating beta receptor signaling and diminishing hypotensive catecholaminergic input from the NTS to the PVN. Sharzahi et al. Examined how myocardial bridging affects coronary blood flow in hypertrophic cardiomyopathy patients. Myocardial bridging is a congenital coronary artery anomaly in which a band of myocardium overlies a segment of the normal epicardial coronary artery. 15 patients with myocardial bridging in their left anterior descending coronary artery were chosen. Transient computational fluid dynamics simulations were conducted in anatomically realistic models of diseased with myocardial bridging and healthy without myocardial bridging, LAD, from these patients reconstructed from biplane angiograms.
The results demonstrate that dynamic compression of myocardial bridging led to diastolic flow disturbances and could significantly reduce the coronary flow in hypercardiomyopic patients. The flow rate change is strongly correlated with both upstream Reynolds number and myocardial bridging compression ratio, while the myocardial bridging length has less impact on coronary flow.
Thanks again for watching. There's lots more at the AJP-Heart and Circ homepage. Please take a look. I think we've had a great year. Our impact factor increased. We've published several outstanding guidelines in cardiovascular physiology papers and have had scores of outstanding podcasts. We hope you take the time to listen to these podcasts, which are all available on our website. As some of you may know, we have recently launched a figure reviewer program to enhance the rigor and reproducibility of the papers published in our journal. I think you will see enhanced data presentation in most papers published in the coming year. On behalf of the AJP-Heart and Circulatory Physiology staff, we thank you for all your support and wish each and every one of you a happy, healthy, productive, and safe holiday season. But don't forget to send us your best work now.